tuning in to That One Place. I'm Ryan Turk, and this week's episode is sending us down the road to Waverly, a small town that's played a pivotal role in Illinois basketball for the last 70 years. Because when it comes to the ultimate Midwest sports experience, it's tough to top the Waverly Holiday Tournament. Since its creation in 1951, the annual tournament has drawn statewide attention, featuring sellout crowds, star players, and top-tier teams, all adding up to an incredibly rich history of hoops. Since the tournament's origins date back a bit before my time, I dropped into the Waverly Holiday Tournament History Room to scan through the archives of box scores, newspaper clippings, and trophies through the years. The History Room is an incredible feature of the Waverly Tournament. Every win, loss, statistic, and player who's ever stepped onto the court is all accounted for. The amount of time and effort it took to put this all together is quite an achievement. Heck, here I am with the first ever Waverly Holiday Tournament program. So here's everything you need to know about this incredible tournament. It all started with 8 teams: Girard, Athens, Kincaid, Pawnee, Northwestern, Verdon, Nokomis, and Waverly. But it wouldn't take long for the tournament to grow to 12 and eventually 16 teams, add a consolation bracket, and become the tournament we know and love today. More than 50 schools have participated in the tournament, with almost half of them winning at least one championship. But the most titles belongs to Auburn with 10, thanks in part to a 4-year championship streak back in the 80s. AC Central was nearly unstoppable in the 90s, winning titles 8 times in the decade. Pawnee and Athens both have secured 5 championships in their time at Waverly and have the rare distinction of titles in 4 different decades. Not only has West Central cut down the nets in 2 of the last 4 years, they've also won 72% of their games at Waverly. That's best in tournament history, ahead of Auburn, Lutheran, North Mac, and Triopia, who round out the top 5. Timeout. Did you know that the breakaway rim, the rim used today all around the world, was invented in Verdon and debuted right here in the Waverly Holiday Tournament? Now that's some Jeopardy-level trivia right there. When it comes to coaching, Auburn's Doug Graven is the top dog. He has 72 wins and was the first coach to win 5 titles. But AC Central's Chuck Snow has a resume that's spotless, with multiple titles and a 12-0 record, one of just 6 undefeated coaches in the history of Waverly. I don't know what it is about the Waverly Tournament, but star players always shine brightest on this stage. Andy Kaufman, Johnny Mayer, Travis Mulvon, all household names in their runs at Waverly. But Pawnee's Brian Thompson owns the honor of scoring champ with 149 points in a single tournament for a 37-point-per-game average. And by my count, 24 players have racked up at least 100 points in a single tournament, only 3 of which were underclassmen. And if you've attended a game at Waverly over the last decade, you've witnessed some incredible scorers take the court, like Triopia's Tanner Huddleston, Sean Bell, and Zach Thompson, Greenfield Northwestern's Isaac Masters, Lutheran's Pearson Wolford and Hank Hare, Athens' Matt Wendling and Nick Laird, Carrollton's Jeremy Watson, West Central's Cole Howard, Colin Slagle, and Gabe Cox, Auburn's Peyton Krager, Edinburgh's Isaac Rothmeyer, Pawnee's Connor Henneman, and New Berlin's Jake Hunt and Eric Gustafson, just to name a few. We all know this year's high school sports season was a bit unconventional, but somehow, through all the craziness, Waverly held their 70th edition of their annual tournament back in March, welcoming new teams and using multiple venues. Waverly Athletic Director Scott Hendricks, who's been involved with the tournament for nearly 4 decades as both a player and coach, knows how important this tournament is to the community, and thanked everyone for rallying together to keep this tradition alive.
Deep down, it truly is about the kids this year, getting an opportunity, except for all conference or maybe a conference championship. It's the only hardware kids are going to get this year. And they're going to walk away from the pandemic, knowing that they had an opportunity to still win something at the Waverly Tournament. And for the teams that took it home or the kids that get an all-tournament team, it's something they're going to remember for the rest of their lives.
With their championship win this season, Triopia joins Waverly, Mason City, Girard, Franklin, and New Berlin as 3-time champs. And this year's first-round matchup between Routt and Carrollton made a little history, marking the tournament's 1,500th game. And you have to believe this tournament will last another 1,500 games, because the Waverly Tournament is more than just basketball. It's a homecoming for all the little towns involved, a chance to see old friends, and take a trip down memory lane. Thanks to the legends of Waverly like James Dunseth, Buford Green, Jerry Simons, and Don Hamilton, and so many more who've paved the way for future generations of fans and players to enjoy this tournament. I've been broadcasting games at Waverly for the better part of a decade, and I still get goosebumps in the championship game at tip-off. I don't know why, it's hard to explain, but being surrounded by passionate fans over the holiday season inside that tiny gymnasium is just one of my favorite places in the world. The Waverly Holiday Tournament is a tradition I'll always be a part of, whether I'm on the mic or in the stands as a fan. And if you've never experienced the Waverly Holiday Tournament, 2021 is a great year to start a new tradition, because plans are in motion for the tournament to resume their normal schedule. So clear your calendars for the 71st Waverly Holiday Tournament from December 27th through 30th. And be sure to stop in the history room and say hi to my friends Bob and Jim, who played a big role in making this episode great. For more great content on the people and places that make up Central Illinois, follow That One Place on Facebook. I'm Ryan Turk, and I'll see you next time at That One Place.